Hi guys, welcome to the Nurturing Leader Success Lab. My name is Nadia Burke and this is my perfectly imperfect video about managing up. What does that mean? Why is it important? And how do we do it? So let's dive in. In my mind, managing up is a communication tool or relationship management tool in order for you to go from a passive receiver of information to an active participant in building your relationship with your boss, ultimately helping you to develop as a better leader and propelling your career to the next level. As I say, you gotta manage up in order to move up. I know it sounds cheesy, but it's true. So how do we do it? I developed a very simple way for us to go about it. Two steps. Step one, listen up, and step two, speak up. Why do we need to listen up? Well, it's just to get to know your boss. You want to be curious about what makes them tick, so this way you can tailor your work and deliverables in order to meet and exceed their expectations. What are the questions to ask? Well, there's three that I want to bring to your attention. One is, how do they define success in their role? Some of them would probably look at success in terms of making sure that all the projects being completed on time. Others view success as hitting all their financial metrics for the group that they manage, while others will look at success in terms of being perceived as a thought leader, as somebody that consistently delivers innovative ideas for the company. So knowing how your boss defines their success will help you to give them what they need and more. Question number two is, what is their communication style? This insight will help you to tailor how you deliver the information to them and how do they process it. Questions you might want to ask are, how do they like to receive your recommendations? Do they need to come in a written form, or would you need to have a presentation, a verbal presentation that you need to give? Do they really have an open door policy, or do they want you to jump on their calendar for even a 15-minute chat? How much time does your boss require to give you feedback? 48 hours, 24 hours? Or are they okay with 2-hour turnaround time? So you want to know all that. And finally, get curious about their values. This is an important one because this will help you to understand their value prism through which they look at your outputs. So if they mention trust, teamwork, authenticity as their values, that's your cue to start living those values and making sure that you're displaying those values in your everyday interaction with your boss as well as your teammates. So remember, the more you know, the better you'll be able to tailor your work outputs to delight your boss, your consumer, your customer, your client, however you want to view them, but it just will help you to deliver better results. Step number two in managing up is speak up. Your boss, like most humans, are not mind readers. And I get it that sometimes it's intimidating to speak your mind and to voice your concerns and ask for guidance. However, if you don't, what happens is you develop passive-aggressive behavior towards your boss and your teammates. You deliver lackluster results, and in the long term, you will just not going to be satisfied with the role that you're in. So how do we go about getting over the fear of speaking up? One is, frame your ask in a way that addresses your boss's needs as well as your own. Remember, we're always aiming for the win-win. So if you keep that in mind. Your needs will be perceived in a positive way. Another way to make sure your boss is open to your feedback is to come up with solutions. Yes, sometimes you want your boss to tell you what to do, point you in the right direction, but in other situations, you not coming up with solutions will make you look like somebody that's just complaining and taking a very passive approach to the tasks at hand or projects or your career in general. Even if your solutions are not fully baked and may seem unrealistic, trust me, your boss will appreciate the effort. So what are some of the things that you should speak up about? I came up with 5 that were important throughout my career, and I hope that this will be thought starters for you. Speak up about your need for your boss to help you prioritize tasks. This is very important when you have 5 or 6 projects that are due pretty much at the same time. You need help, speak up. This type of conversation also will help to shed light on unrealistic expectations from your boss and the rest of the team. Another thing to speak up about is resources, and resources that cause constraints, and you will need those resources in order to deliver your best work. For example, if your boss has a board meeting presentation due tomorrow, it's only fair that you ask if your coworker can help you to pull this last minute data that your boss might need. Another thing to speak about is the status of your project, especially when you're running into some sort of bottlenecks, whether with time, resources, you name it. You sitting in isolation and wishing that all of this will magically go away, it's unrealistic and it won't happen. So trust me when I say your boss much rather will hear it from you and will be grateful for an opportunity to help you through these bottlenecks versus hearing from somebody else, let alone his boss. And then let's see, another thing I want to mention. So ask for, verbalize your need for information. It could be as simple as where to find the file on the company's drive, or that you need to take a Google's Analytics class in order to better deliver on the tasks that are in hand. If you put in charge of building your e-com business, of course, you want to make sure that you have all the necessary knowledge in order to achieve the task to the best of your ability. And then finally, this one is very near and dear to me, is speak up about the need for mental and physical health breaks. I'm a big believer that you cannot deliver 100% on the needs of others if you do not take care of yourself first. This is very similar to what they tell us when we board an airplane. Please put your oxygen mask on first before assisting others. Keep this approach in mind because, again, this will produce a win-win collaboration. If you are unwell, your work suffers, the quality of your work suffers. So it only benefits the organization and your boss to give you time to recuperate in order to then come back swinging in full force. So here you have it, our 2-step process on how to master the art of managing up. Experiment with it, see what works, what doesn't, comment, let me know what you think, subscribe, and meanwhile, sparkle with kindness.